So it's pretty widely known that foreign policy is an issue Americans don't always pay close attention to, especially when it comes to issues they care about during elections. And maybe it wasn't always like that, but after decades of endless wars in far-off satellite states, it isn't shocking that sometimes we can tune out what's going on across the globe, even if our country is very much at the center of it. But the continuation of the war in Ukraine is an issue that the right is slowly but surely honing in on, hoping their stance on it will be the deciding factor in the 2024 election. Because as you may know, there is a growing anti-war movement that is gaining steam on the far right.
And while I'm still committed to saying no money to Ukraine, and that country needs to find peace, not war, and while I will look at a camera and directly tell Zelensky, you better leave your hands off of our sons and daughters because they're not dying over there.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has not been shy about her distaste for the government's handling of the situation in Eastern Europe, and she and others on the right are honing in on some out-of-context comments President Zelensky made to stretch her distaste into sheer fear-mongering. So there's a video of Zelensky's latest speech going around that shows him saying that Americans will have to send their, quote, sons and daughters to the war in Ukraine. Which, if true, yeah, sorry, but Marge is right. That's a big deal. But let's zoom out a bit. The clip is from a 2-hour speech, and in this tiny segment, Zelensky was explaining that if Russia attacked a NATO member state, which are US allies, the US would likely send troops in to protect those countries. And now, I hate to break it to you, Marge, but that stance is literally enshrined in law. Article 5 of NATO states that, quote, an armed attack against one or more of our allies in Europe or North America shall be considered an attack against them all. So Zelensky was not suggesting that Americans would have to fight in Ukraine, but that if Russia attacked a NATO country, we would, due to the legality of the treaty we are a member of, we would have to respond. That's why the world has been on pins and needles in the event of a Russian missile flying into Poland or another NATO country. The stakes are very high, but there is an increased amount of fear-mongering that is coming from the right that is undeniably ratcheted up in tone in recent days.
But we need to have a plan on how this war is actually going to end. And it darn well isn't going to be with my 4 boys fighting Ukraine's war against Russia.
Greene and Boebert are among some of the more distasteful politicians. We know this. But I think that there's a reason we are suddenly seeing this drumming up of anti-war sentiment, because they think it will be a winning message in 2024. Trump himself is already banging this drum that he could end the war in a day. But in case you think they really are concerned with promoting peace, just remember that power and winning the 2024 election is the only thing that these people really care about. If you want to check out more of my coverage on the breakdown, stay right here. You can watch my latest video of Trump supporters being banned from a DeSantis book event by clicking on the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on all platforms at Caro Johnson 917.